Have you ever stopped to think how one nation, a country often seen for its sheer scale and complexity, didn't just catch up, but actually leapfrog the tech giants? We're talking Silicon Valley, China, to become the undisputed global leader in real-time digital payments.
It's kind of counterintuitive, isn't it?
Totally. You'd normally expect these big foundational changes to come from, like, really established economies. But here, someone else just completely rewrote the rules. We're talking about India, of course. And the thing that made it happen is called UPI, the Unified Payments Interface.
Right.
But let's be really clear here. UPI isn't just, another payment app. It's not just tapping your phone differently.
No, not at all.
It is fundamentally a silent revolution. It's a huge shift in how money actually moves, how we do transactions. It's basically redefined fintech, not just for India, but, well, everywhere.
Exactly. And what's really fascinating, I think, is that this whole transformation, it goes way beyond just the tech itself. It's not simply about making transfers faster. It's really about deep societal change. It's about rethinking who gets access to finance, equity. And crucially, it's about creating this completely new model, an open source model for digital public infrastructure.
A public infrastructure.
Interesting. Yeah. And other countries are now looking at it, studying it. They see it as a blueprint for their own financial futures.
Precisely. And that's really our mission for this deep dive today. We want to unpack the honestly incredible story of UPI. It's often underappreciated, I think.
Agreed.
We'll get into how it works, its mechanics, its massive impact inside India.
Yeah.
And then maybe the most surprising part, its growing global influence. You'll hopefully understand why India, a country maybe still seen as, playing catch-up in some tech areas, became the unexpected trailblazer here in this really critical space.
It's a great story.
Yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so let's unpack this properly. Let's rewind a bit. Before UPI kicked off in 2016, before this whole digital wave hit, picture India around, say, 2015. What was it actually like for someone just trying to pay for something or get paid?
Right. Well, the first thing you'd notice, overwhelmingly, is cash.
Cash everywhere.
Absolutely everywhere. It wasn't just king. For most everyday stuff, it was basically the only game in town.
Right.
Think about bustling street food stalls in Mumbai or like quiet markets in a village somewhere. Cash was it. Vendors counting notes, customers looking for change.
Yeah.
That sound, the crinkle of paper, the clink of coins, that was just the background noise to commerce.
It's really tangible.
Very tangible, physical, and
deeply,
almost culturally embedded in daily life for hundreds of millions.
Yeah.
For many, it wasn't really a choice. It was just the only practical way. And, that reliance had hidden costs too. Printing money, moving it, risk of theft, difficulty tracking the informal economy. It adds up.
But that familiarity with cash, it must have come with, well, a lot of pain points too.
Yeah.
Especially as India was trying to modernize.
Oh, absolutely. A mountain of them.
Yeah.
Existing digital payments, the few that were around before UPI were just, slow, clunky, and often pretty expensive, actually.
Really expensive.
Yeah, sometimes. And just imagine the inefficiency. People literally standing in long queues.
Queues, right.
Long, messy queues at banks or payment centers just for basic stuff.
Right.
Sending money home, paying a bill.
The basic transactions.
Basic stuff. It was a huge waste of time, especially when many people rely on daily wages.
Yeah, you can't afford to waste hours in a queue.
Exactly. And it wasn't just big payments. Even sending out a small amount, like 500 rupees, maybe $6-7 US.
Okay.
It could easily take hours, maybe even a whole business day for it to actually show up in the other person's account.
Hours. Wow. Not practical.
No, not practical at all for daily life or emergencies.
Okay, but didn't India have some digital systems already? Like I've heard of NEFT and MPS.
Yes, they did exist. NEFT, National Electronic Funds Transfer, was mostly for batch processing, not really instant.
Yeah, batch.
And IMPS, the Immediate Payment Service, was an earlier try at instant transfers, but it fundamentally lacked what UPI brought later.
What was missing?
Crucially, they weren't truly real-time in the way we think of it now. And a really big one, they weren't 24/7.
Ah, the banking hours limitation.
Exactly. Restricted by traditional banking hours, needed to transfer money after hours or on a weekend or a holiday. Tough luck.
So the money just sat there?
Pretty much. Sat in limbo until the next business day. So the whole digital system was still tied to bank branches and working hours.
Right, which limited its usefulness massively.
Severely, especially for informal workers, small businesses, anyone operating outside 9 to 5. It just wasn't convenient enough. And that really raises a huge question, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How can you possibly build a financial system that's truly inclusive? One that serves everyone, urban, rural, big business, tiny vendor,
Yeah, the whole spectrum.
when the core parts are tied to banking hours in physical locations. The friction, the delays, the costs, they effectively shut out a massive part of the population from the digital economy.
So it kind of push people back towards cash.
Inadvertently, yes,
Yeah.
because the digital options just weren't practical, reliable, or instant enough for most people, especially outside the big cities. It was a critical bottleneck needing a radical fix.
And here's where it gets really, really interesting. The paradox. Right. At the same time, you had these clunky payment systems.
Mm-hmm.
Smartphones were exploding across India. It was incredible. Millions of people, even in really remote places, were suddenly getting affordable smartphones, getting online.
Yeah, the adoption rate was phenomenal.
But, and this is the kicker, even with all these powerful computers in people's pockets, mobile payments were still a massive headache, still really difficult.
Right, the potential was there, but the plumbing wasn't.
Exactly. You had this amazing device, but the financial infrastructure underneath just couldn't support easy, instant mobile payments. It's like having a Ferrari on a dirt track.
Good analogy.
It created this huge bottleneck. People had the connectivity was improving, but the actual rails for smooth digital transactions, they just weren't there.
Leading to massive user frustration.
Immense frustration. And it kept billions of small transactions stuck in cash, holding back the digital economy. Market wasn't just ripe for disruption. It was basically screaming for a total rethink. Okay, so faced with this challenging landscape, cash everywhere, friction, digital dead ends, it was clear something big had to happen.
Definitely.
And this need spurred action from some key players. This is where the revolution really starts. The National Payments Corporation of India, NPCI,
Right, NPCI.
which is a nonprofit owned by Indian banks, but working closely with the Reserve Bank of India, the RBI.
India's central bank, yeah.
They stepped in with this incredibly bold idea. They realized just tweaking the old systems wasn't enough.
No, it needed a ground-up redesign.
A complete overhaul for the digital age, built for massive scale.
And that partnership between NPCI, owned by the banks, and RBI, the central bank, that was actually quite unique and powerful.
How so?
It blended private sector agility and innovation, the banks working together with the RBI's oversight, trust, and sort of big picture vision.
Okay, best of both worlds.
Kind of. And together, they set out to design something that would tackle all those pain points we talked about. The slowness, the cost, the lack of 247 access.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted something fundamentally different, inclusive, democratic, accessible to everyone.
So what were the core principles? What did this new system absolutely have to achieve?
They were really clear, very ambitious. First, real time.
Instant.
Absolutely instant. No more waiting hours. Money reflects immediately, whether it's 10 rupees or 10,000.
Okay.
Second, and this was maybe the most radical part, free for users.
Completely free. No transaction fees at all.
Zero cost for the end user, sending or receiving. That alone just blew the doors open for access, removed a huge barrier for millions.
Wow. Okay, what else?
Third, bank to bank. Directly linking accounts across different banks. Cuts out middlemen, makes it super efficient, secure.
Streamlined.
Very. And finally, absolutely crucial, 24/7 availability.
The game changer.
Total game changer. No more banking hours, work Sundays, holidays, middle of the night. The financial system finally matches the rhythm of real life. And if you think about the bigger picture here, this wasn't just about building another payment system. It was really about building a digital public good.
Like a highway, you said.
Exactly, like a public utility, open infrastructure that benefits everyone, not just those who can pay or are on a specific network.
Right.
And that free for users decision was particularly visionary. They prioritized mass adoption, mass inclusion, over making money straight away.
Even though that might cause issues for banks later.
Precisely. It did create challenges down the line for banks, which we need to talk about, but strategically, they chose access first. That was key to getting the scale UPI achieved. It was about bringing the unbanked and underbanked into the formal economy like never before.
Okay, so that's the vision, the principles. But what about the actual user? How did they make something potentially complex feel so incredibly simple for, my grandmother or a street vendor?
Yeah, the user experience is brilliant. The core idea is the virtual payment address, the VPA.
VPA.
Okay, think of it like the source says as an email address for your money.
Okay, I like that.
Instead of needing long account numbers, complicated IFSC codes those branch identifiers.
Yeah, nobody remembers those.
Exactly. You just create a simple VPA, something easy, like your name at bank or maybe your phone number at UPI. It links straight to your bank account behind the scenes.
That sounds much easier. A massive improvement.
Huge leap in user experience, just a simple, memorable ID. And UPI gives you lots of ways to pay or get paid, really convenient ways.
Like what?
You can use the VPA, obviously, or even simpler, just use someone's phone number.
Like sending a text.
Pretty much that easy. Send money without knowing their bank details, or, probably the most common way you see it in India, just scan a QR code.
The QR codes are everywhere, right?
Everywhere. Shops, vendors, restaurants, even paying your neighbor, just scan and pay.
So basically, they removed all the friction.
Almost entirely. No account numbers needed, no IFSC codes, no waiting, just instant, easy payments through your phone.
And this is where it gets really smart, right? The interoperability thing. What does that actually mean for me as a user?
Yeah, this is UPI's superpower, what makes it stand out globally. Interoperability means it just doesn't matter which UPI app you like to use.
Okay.
Whether you use PhonePe, Google Pay, Paytm, BHIM, that's NPCI's own app, or even WhatsApp Pay now.
Right.
It all works together seamlessly on the same network.
So I can send money from my Google Pay to my friend's PhonePe. No problem.
Zero problems. Or to someone just using their basic bank app if it supports UPI. The system doesn't care which app you use. It's totally open.
That's huge. Because usually these payment apps try to lock you in, right?
Yeah.
Create their own little world.
Exactly. They create walled gardens. But UPI broke those down. It fostered this open ecosystem.
So competition wasn't about the network. It was about
User experience, features, reliability, not locking people in. And that openness meant users could pick the app they liked best, knowing they could reach anyone else on UPI.
which must have supercharged adoption.
Absolutely. It allowed multiple apps to flourish and helped UPI spread incredibly quickly. That flexibility was key. And what's really interesting is, that elegant simplicity the user sees.
Yeah, it feels almost magic.
Right. But behind that smooth front end, there's this incredibly robust, centralized architecture doing the heavy lifting.
Okay, so it's not truly peer-to-peer then.
Not directly. Behind the scenes, UPI routes all those payments between the different banks. And it does this through a central system built and managed by NPCI.
So NPCI is like the central command.
Pretty much. Think of it as the central switchboard or maybe the conductor of this huge orchestra of real-time payments. And having that centralized backbone is absolutely critical for UPI's speed, efficiency, and reliability, especially at scale.
How does it work quickly?
When you send money, say, from SBI Bank to ICICI Bank, NPCI is the one talking between them in real time. It verifies the VPA, checks you have the funds, debits your account, credits the other account.
All in milliseconds.
All in milliseconds. This sophisticated clearing and settlement system ensures everything is instant, secure, and consistent, no matter which bank or app you use.
So it's that combo. Simple front end, powerful back end.
Exactly. That intelligent design makes it so effective, scalable, and resilient. And it makes it easy to add new banks or payment apps, constantly expanding the network.
And the results, the source called them explosive.
Explosive is a good word for it. UPI didn't just change how techies paid online. It fundamentally changed India at the grassroots. It made digital payments truly possible for everyone, regardless of location, income, digital skill.
So it reached people who were left out before.
Massively. Think about that chaiwala, the tea vendor on the street corner. Before UPI, cash only. Suddenly, they can accept digital payments with just a simple QR code.
No more counting change, handling dirty notes.
Exactly. Less hassle, more transparent. Same for small businesses, tailors, grocery stores. They could easily integrate digital payments. Boosted their efficiency.
What about, farmers?
Farmers in remote villages could get payments directly into their bank accounts using just a phone number. Much safer than carrying cash.
Right.
Even startups found it easier. A low-cost way to handle payments without complex traditional systems. It basically empowered millions who were previously excluded, bridging that gap by removing cost, complexity, and the need for physical bank access.
So it wasn't just about convenience, it was real economic inclusion.
Absolutely. Truly revolutionary at the individual level.
And this accessibility, this ease of use, it led to what the source calls the democratization of payments.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. UPI stripped away the complexity, the intimidation, intimidation factor that used to surround digital finance.
Now, what were the key things?
Those three pillars: zero cost for the user, instant transactions, and really strong security.
Right. Zero cost, instant secure.
That combination fundamentally shifted the power dynamics. Digital payments weren't a luxury anymore or a hassle. They became this accessible, fair tool for everyone.
A level playing field.
Exactly. Anyone with a smartphone and a bank account could participate fully in the digital economy. It created a level of financial inclusion nobody thought possible before. And the sheer scale of adoption, it's just mind-blowing.
Give us the headline number again.
By 2024, UPI was powering over 75%, three-quarters of all digital retail transactions in India.
75% in a country that size.
Let that sink in. 75% of digital retail payments in a nation of 1.4 billion people, all flowing through this single, open, instant system.
That's staggering. How does that compare globally?
Well, many developed countries are still way behind that level of unified digital penetration. Cash is still huge elsewhere, or you have lots of fragmented competing systems. Which really makes you think, doesn't it? What does it actually mean for an economy when three-quarters of its digital retail spending happens on one instant open platform?
Yeah, what are the implications?
Huge efficiencies, right? Speed, standardization, transparency in how money moves. It can boost growth, drive innovation because everyone's building on the same foundation. And it brings so many people into the formal economy, better tax collection, easier welfare payments. It just paves the way for so much more financial innovation. It's proof of the vision behind UPI.
And it wasn't just making waves in India, right? The world started noticing.
Oh yeah, big time. This is where the story goes truly global. Major economies, even ones known for fintech, started studying the UPI model very closely.
Likely.
Brazil, for instance. Their big real-time payment system, Pix, was directly inspired by UPI's architecture.
Really? Directly inspired.
Openly acknowledged. Singapore's PayNow system also learned a lot from UPI. And more recently, systems being built in places like France, the UAE, they've all looked at UPI as a blueprint.
Learning from its success.
Exactly. Understanding the core principles, adapting the architecture.
So it's more than just copying. It's a recognition that UPI got something fundamentally right.
Absolutely. It's a recognition that UPI's design, the interoperability, the instant settlement, the simple interface is maybe the best model for modern nationwide real-time payments.
Interesting.
Those elements are what global innovators are now trying to replicate because they see how crucial they are for inclusion and efficiency, the huge validation of India's approach. And what's just fascinating, historically speaking, is that for once, India didn't follow the world. The world followed India.
Yeah, that's a big shift.
Huge. For decades, the story was often India adopting tech from elsewhere. But with UPI, India built something so effective, so scalable, so inclusive that it became the global benchmark. It really says something about India's growing ability for real homegrown innovation, not just services, but foundational infrastructure. It's a paradigm shift in global fintech leadership. India's right at the front now.
And it's not just inspiration. UPI is actually being used outside India now.
Yes, it's actively expanding its footprint. It's already accepted in several countries, which is amazing for Indian travelers or people living abroad.
Where specifically?
The UAE is a big one. Lots of Indian diaspora there. Makes payments much easier for them.
Okay.
Singapore, too, a major financial hub. And maybe surprisingly, even France.
France?
Wow. Yeah, shows growing trust in Europe. And also Bhutan. It's adapting to different kinds of economies.
What are the implications of that, UPI going global?
Well, huge convenience for Indians abroad, obviously. Less need for currency exchange or relying only on cards.
Right.
It could really simplify cross-border trade, especially for smaller businesses dealing with India. Cheaper, faster payments. And strategically, it's soft power, right? Shows India as an innovator, exporting cutting-edge digital infrastructure.
And the source says more to come.
Yeah, it definitely feels like this is just the beginning of UPI's global journey. More integration, more influence, and this really positions India differently on the world stage, doesn't it? Not just consuming tech, but innovating and exporting foundational fintech infrastructure.
Yeah, moving from service provider to genuine innovator.
Exactly. Shaping the future of global finance. It's a powerful shift.
But, okay, no revolution is perfect.
Yeah.
UPI keeps evolving, right? It's not static. What's new? What's coming next?
Absolutely. It's constantly developing. One really big recent addition in 2024 was credit lines.
Credit lines through UPI. How does that work?
It lets users access credit directly via their UPI app. It's almost like a built-in buy now, pay later service, but importantly, it comes directly from their own bank.
Okay, BNPL, but from your bank through UPI.
Exactly. And that's huge because it moves UPI beyond just payments into integrated credit.
So you could get a small loan instantly.
Potentially, yes, for a purchase or maybe emergency funds right there in the app you already use. No complex application process.
Could be massive for financial inclusion, for credit access.
Transformative, potentially, especially for people without a formal credit history. It democratizes credit access alongside payments.
Okay, that's big. What else is on the horizon?
Couple of really interesting things coming soon.
Hmm.
One is voice-based UPI.
Paying with your voice.
Yeah, allowing payments just through voice commands. Think about accessibility, people with low digital literacy, maybe elderly users, people with disabilities.
Wow, that could lower the barrier even further.
Make it truly universal. Another key thing is AI-powered fraud protection.
Using AI for security.
Yeah. As UPI transaction volumes just explode, you need really smart ways to detect and prevent fraud. AI can analyze patterns, spot anomalies, flag risks in real time.
Like an adaptive shield.
Exactly. Keeping the system secure and trustworthy as it scales massively. So if you connect that to the bigger picture, the future of UPI looks even bigger than its past.
How so?
Credit lines mean it's becoming a fuller financial ecosystem. Voice payments tackle that last mile of accessibility. AI fraud detection ensures it stays robust and secure.
So it's not standing still.
Not at all. UPI is constantly innovating, adapting, expanding what it can do, staying at the cutting edge globally and driving India's financial transformation forward.
Okay, but every success story has its challenges. UPI must have some hurdles too.
Oh, definitely. Despite all the success, there's one major ongoing challenge, especially for the banks who actually make the system work.
And that is?
It comes back to that zero-fee model we talked about.
Ah, right. Great for users, but maybe not so great for banks.
Exactly. For you, the consumer or a small merchant, zero transaction cost is amazing, drives adoption like crazy. But for the banks processing billions of these transactions every day, maintaining the infrastructure, investing in security, the zero merchant discount rate, the MDR.
That's the fee merchants usually pay.
Right. Without that fee on UPI transactions, banks don't have a direct revenue stream from it.
Which makes it hard to sustain.
It creates a real sustainability question. Banks have significant costs, infrastructure, security, upgrades, but no direct UPI income to cover them. It makes justifying ongoing investment tricky.
So you have this tension, right, between UPI as this amazing digital public good.
Free and accessible for everyone.
And the business reality for the private banks that actually run it.
It's a classic dilemma, public benefit versus private viability. How do you balance those?
Is anything being done?
Yes, thankfully. The source mentions that monetization models are under discussion.
Okay, so they're trying to figure it out.
Seems so. Probably talks involving the government, the RBI, the banks, trying to find ways for banks to cover costs, stay incentivized, keep investing in UPI.
Without hurting the user experience.
That's the crucial balancing act. Finding a sustainable model for the long-term health and innovation of the system without losing what made it great in the first place.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what an incredible journey. We went from India being heavily reliant on cash with clunky digital options to becoming this global fintech leader, all thanks to UPI's simple, instant, interoperable design. It really changed lives, empowered millions.
It really did. And I think what's fascinating here is that UPI is, without doubt, India's most successful digital public good.
Yeah.
It's just a powerful example of bold vision, great collaboration between public and private sectors, and a real commitment to financial inclusion. It didn't just digitize payments. It democratized finance, and it created this open infrastructure that, as we said, the whole world is now looking at.
Truly a blueprint.
A blueprint for the future of global fintech, built in India. It really shows that world-changing innovation can come from anywhere.
So what does all this mean for you listening to this? As we finish this deep dive, maybe chew on this. Is UPI India's greatest fintech success story? Could it reshape global finance in the coming years, changing where we expect leadership to come from? And maybe more importantly, what lessons can other countries learn from UPI's journey from just an idea to a global force? Especially nations striving for real financial inclusion and homegrown innovation.
Lots to think about there.
Definitely something to mull over.
Okay.
Until our next deep dive.